as we were discussing earlier, uh, how the social norms in our society, or how this is specific to India only,
Hmm.
how that impacts your investment strategy, and what kind of things you should incorporate in your investment strategy, what kind of things you are seeing on the ground, which you can sort of correlate with the stats which are coming out. One of the drawbacks is that a lot of our data is very old when it comes out. So RBI
Hmm.
publishes like some of the data which they publishes on uh, jobs and businesses and employment and etc. They are very old. They
Hmm.
comes like with a lag, 6 months, 1 year lag. But the
Hmm.
market does not wait for that. Market reacts to that data, what they are seeing it on the ground, or what they are hearing from the management, and or what is happening on the ground.
Hmm.
So that's why the Scuttlebug, it is required to keep assessing that what are the changes which are happening on the ground. So, so one of the things is that most of our people belong to middle and lower class. So what is happening over the past 6 7 years is that uh, we have become aspirational as a society.
Hmm.
Uh, but there is the income has played flat. So the wage inflation is not there. If you take it like on a CAGR basis, it's less than 5%.
Right.
Uh, so what has happened is that brought a boom in the consumption finance, or consumer
Hmm.
finance. So you had these Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv doing really, really well, and most of the NBFCs doing really well till 2018. That was derived from the fact that because we were becoming aspirational, because the wages were flat, because we had easy access to credit. That leads to a complete cycle of consumer finance happening.
Hmm. Hmm.
Similarly, uh, you know, as a society, we have become very expressive, and
Hmm.
not just on social media. Even if you go and meet people on the ground, on the villages, even in the uh, urban areas, the rural areas, even the semi-urban areas, that has become the most progressive tier two, tier three cities. Their assertion towards everything, region, religion, etc., is become very prominent. It is in the face. Okay, so like this was about 6 7 months ago when we did our survey in Chandni Chowk in Delhi area, which is a very prominent marketplace. So the Rudraksh bands, they were in vogue. They were like selling like anything. So that shows that people, there is a lot of show off also which is happening. People want to uh, be part of a fad. Okay, कि यार ये अभी वो इन न्यूज में है और इम्पोर्टेंट है, तो चलो हम भी यही काम करते हैं. So their commitment to a particular fad is also temporary. What is
Hmm.
suited to their convenience, they'll do it.
Hmm.
uh, but whether they'll follow it or not, that is for a longer period of time, that needs to be seen. So why I'm
Right.
telling all this is because it comes from a uh, very critical part of our strategy, that
Hmm.
if there is a product which people can easily switch,
Hmm.
given the society has become very sad in nature, they will मतलब अपने convenience होगा तो use करेंगे, नहीं होगा तो नहीं करेंगे. So
Hmm.
you don't want to be in a product कि आज मैंने इसमें invest किया और कल कोई एक competitor नया product आया and the people stop using my product or
Hmm.
stop
Hmm.
using my service. So you don't
Hmm.
want to be in that kind of a business, or that
Hmm.
don't want to be in that business model where the switching costs are far easier.
Hmm.
So I can give you a couple of examples on this. Recently, during the lockdown, I did one because for a time ज़्यादा था lockdown में. I did one creative writing course, online creative writing course, and that course is conducted by one of my friends who is a author, writer, author. and he has published some 6-7 books also. And so he suggested, so I said, okay, मेरे को भी थोड़ा लिखने का शौक है, तो मैं let me do it. And it was not very time consuming. So I did it on his instance. So after doing the training, I asked him, so how many people do it? I was just inquiring how many people do it, because it's a well constructed course. So how people do it? And he said people do it, and then we were talking, and what input he gave me, very brilliant input. He gave me that people are not sticking to one author. There are so many authors who are writing books, but people are not sticking to one author. आज चेतन भगत अच्छा लगा, कल को अश्विन सांगी अच्छा लगा, परसों वो वापस किसी ओल्ड ऑथर पे रस्किन बॉन्ड पे चले जाएंगे. So there is no. Secondly, as a society, we are very price conscious. So अगर वो 299 की किताब होगी तो शायद नहीं खरीदेंगे कि यार इतने में तो कॉफी पी लेंगे. लेकिन अगर वही किताब 249 की होगी या 199 की होगी, तो people will jump onto it, especially during the sales season. And the 90% of the sales actually happen in the sales season, whenever these e-portals come up with them. So the two things which I collected from talking to him, a sort of an author who is a full-time author, is that even as a small industry as publishing, there is no commitment. And we are a very price conscious society. So the thing is that without having a proper social reform, it is very difficult in our country to have an economic reform in the truest sense. So when the economic reforms and the social reforms come together, then we'll see that the proper change is happening at the ground level also. One of the problems in our society is also that the word reform is very misused. So अभी वो जीएसटी का 3 पेज का फॉर्म, 5 पेज का फॉर्म 3 पेज का कर दिया, तो उसको रिफॉर्म बोलते हैं काफी लोग. तो ऐसे ही अगर बरसात में रोड खराब हो गई, रोड ठीक कर दी, तो उसको लोग रिफॉर्म बोलते हैं. दैट इज एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क. दैट आई मीन जीएसटी का फॉर्म करना, दैट इज एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एफिशिएंसी इंप्रूव करना. या अगर गड्ढा भर दिया बारिश में, तो दैट इज अ म्युनिसिपैलिटी वर्क. दैट इज नॉट अ इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म. आपने कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स कट किया, दैट इज एन इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म. ठीक है, कि आपने एंकरेज किया नई कंपनीज आके यहाँ पर डालें, चाहे हमारी एग्जिस्टिंग कंपनीज और अपना एक्सपेंशन करना चाहते हैं, तो दैट इज एन इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म. So the issue is also how we are viewing it. What is the sentiment? Whether the actual reform is happening, or it is for the sake of it we are doing the reform. So that's why this period is very very critical for India and for our strategy also, because after COVID a lot of businesses are changing. A lot of business models are changing. Some of these companies will not survive, unfortunately will not be able to survive. So we have to keep on evaluating on a sort of a daily, weekly basis, monthly basis, that which companies are going to survive more. And we have to make sure that we are not stuck in a company where the business model will just fail after 6 months. Once this liquidity phase is over, and we don't want to stuck with that kind of a business or that kind of a stock. So understanding how the society is changing, how the cultural changes are happening, that is also very critical. So if you look to our culture, we have grown very organically. अभी यहाँ से ये अच्छा कर लिया, वो खराब कर दिया, XYZ. So अभी basic, I don't want to make it into a cultural commentary, because we write a lot to our clients, keep on emphasizing this point, that we are not making the best use of our culture. Okay. अभी आप ये देखो कि we are best at culinary cooking. हमारा बेस्ट होता है. आप इतनी वैरायटी है, आप इंडिया के किसी कोने में चले जाइए, there is so much diversity, so much variety in eating, cooking. But उसके बावजूद भी there is no global brand which is there. Okay. In fact, the foreign brands like McDonald's and Domino's have come and captured our market. But there has been no brand which has gone global. I know there are Haldiram, Bikaner, and etc. are there, but no one has actually gone global. So that has also come from the mindset that our that feudal instinct hasn't gone so far. So similarly, how we plan our festivals, traffic rules, how we follow, there is a lack of trust. अभी आप ट्रैफिक रूल्स कर रहे हैं, अब सिग्नल पे आप खड़े हो, आप हमेशा देखिएगा पुलिस वाला जो होता है, जो ट्रैफिक पुलिस वाला होता है, वो छुप के रहता है हमेशा, वो कोशिश करता है आपको पकड़ने की, ठीक है, बिकॉज देयर इज अ लैक ऑफ ट्रस्ट. उसको भी पता है कि यार ये निकल जाएगा बंदा, और आपको भी पता है कि यार आप शायद निकल सकते हो. So as a society, we lack complete trust, and that needs to change because that will eventually start reflecting in your business.
Investments in the securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.